What Rings of Power is demonstrating is this parallel activity. Rings of Power in the entertainment world is working in tandem with actual politics that's happening against the English, against the UK. Obviously, England is one part of the UK, but I really, if you guys, I don't know if where you guys, where you are from around the world. If you are, I think most of you are probably from the United States, but if you guys um, aren't aware of what's going on politically in the UK, it's a very serious situation. And I won't go into the details because I don't want, again, I don't want this to be a political channel, but art and entertainment is actually working in a direct tandem with actual world politics. And the UK is being greatly affected, negatively affected with world politics these days. Rings of Power is just the entertainment analog of what's happening in England and to England. What is happening to England? Well, in the way that Tolkien is and his work has become defaced, has become kind of supplanted his imagery, his Christian imagery, and the importance of English mythology, the way that's being stripped down and pulled apart. It's actually what's happening to the actual English man or the English man, woman, person in real life. Because of politics now, because of what's happening in the political sphere, geopolitical sphere, topographical things like war and conflict and all of that stuff. Because of what's happening in politics today, England is facing a cultural and societal genocide. Now, we might not see it in our lifetime. Like, I'm in my 30s, mid 30s. I might not even see it in my lifetime. But the way it's going and at the rate it's going, England is actually experiencing a defacement of its own culture and its own heritage. I was listening to this podcast, these British guys, and you guys might know them too, the podcast of the Lotus Eaters. And there were these two guys specifically. They were talking about how the lockdowns had really destroyed the businesses, especially the pubs. I heard this was true of Ireland too, but now it's of course Ireland and England. And the English pub, we might not see it as Americans. I didn't see this as an American myself, but they were saying that the English pub is that tenet of Englishman society. You are in your English community at the pub. You're at the local business. You're at, you're gathering as a community, just talking about the town affairs and stuff like that. It is a very crucial, important part of the English heritage. And because of the lockdowns, that has actually destroyed a lot of those businesses. And there's a lot of closing downs or pints of beer are becoming too expensive and stuff like that. So just imagine, I know, like, people are like, what does this have to do with Tolkien? Well, pretty much everything. What does this have to do with Rings of Power? Pretty much everything. Imagine if you guys, like, I can't really, because I'm American, from the Northwest, and I've lived in the South now for 8 years, so I can't really imagine this myself, but I can imagine a tavern full of hobbits, and Samwise Gamgee is smoking his pipe and talking with his gaffer and the gaffer's friends and all his neighbors and Rosie Cotton and the Cottons and all these farmers. They're in the tavern singing songs and telling stories and the local hobbit news. And then all of a sudden, Sharky, aka Saruman, closes down the shops and closes down the businesses and closes down all the taverns and farms and gardens and everything that economically and culturally benefits Hobbiton. Saruman and his scouring of the Shire is a direct analog with actually what's happening to England right now. Now, we won't see it for many years to come, but I want to bring this very strange hypothetical to your attention, and it might sound absurd, but this is how important and serious this is. We could actually find ourselves in the world without the British accent. Many generations down, well, maybe not even many. I would say 4 to 5 generations from now, the way it's going with the stripping down of the English heritage, there could be a loss or a muddying of the British accent where we wouldn't even recognize it as a British accent anymore. Rings of Power is the entertainment analog of the stripping of the English. I said it before on my community tab. The modern representation found in Tolkien, this Rings of Power nonsense, the modern representation of Tolkien is the misrepresentation of the English man. And I advised artists, we must beware. We must beware. Why would we want to destroy such a beautiful culture? Why would we want to destroy such a beautiful mythos, a beautiful mythology? Even though we can't see it now, it's going to happen if we continue supporting these kinds of products and projects. Amazon's not making any money or losing any money with their subscription to Prime. They didn't make Rings of Power to make money. First of all, they don't need it. Amazon doesn't need to make any more money than it already has. It doesn't think like that. Like, it doesn't actually think like a business, like a small business person would think. Amazon did not get some rights to Tolkien's world to make money. And it certainly didn't get the rights to Tolkien and his world to honor Tolkien. It's a move. It's an artistic, political move. It's art and politics working in tandem to say, wait, no, what? No. We can't have Tolkien looking like this anymore. This is the past. We got to modernize it, guys. We got to reimagine it. And to that I say, well, if you're going to put a look to this, if you're going to put a modern look to Tolkien, then it ceases to be Tolkien. It's generic fantasy at that point. It's World of Warcraft or whatever. And it's fine. You could just say, hey, we were inspired by Tolkien, but this is our generic general fantasy. Disa would be perfect in a general fantasy. Disa doesn't belong in Tolkien. That's just so. I didn't make it up. Tolkien did. You know, Tolkien did not, I don't think he released Fellowship of the Ring until 62 years old. He spent all his life in the trenches of World War I. He spent all of his life giving us this world. In a very short amount of time, we're going to rip it apart. And we're going to hate on it. What good does that do? It does no good. In fact, it does a lot of evil. Even if you like Tolkien and you want to say, I got to honor Tolkien by talking about how bad this is, you're perpetuating a stripping down of the English culture and heritage. That's how serious it is. And the people behind Amazon know exactly what they're doing. Sounds serious? I know. I didn't make up the rules, but that's what's happening.